Good day everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be factorizing trinomials, our fourth installment in factorization. Suppose you are given this example. Suppose now you are given this question, or rather this example. This is example 4. So you're given 15p squared minus 19p cubed plus 6q squared. Now, before one factorizes this expression, is to consider whether this is written in descending form. Yes, it is written in descending form with 15p squared as the highest degree, with 2 as the highest degree, and then we have pq, or negative 19pq as our middle term, and then we have 6q squared as our constant, which is in this case our subtle constant. Now, when we factorize this, we just need to do, first thing that we need to do is to have our parentheses, and we know that 5p multiplied by 3p will give us 15p squared. Okay, now we look at the factors of 6 in this case. The factors of 6 are 3 and 2. And then notice this is 3q and 2q. Now we want to multiply these factors so that when we after multiplying, we should be able to get a sum of negative 19pq. In this case, we know that after multiplying, when we multiply rather 5p multiplied by 3p gives us 15p squared. That's our first term, or rather, yes, first term in our parentheses. And then our second application is to look at our outer terms in our parentheses. So we have 5p and 2q. In this case, we know that after multiplying 5p multiplied by negative 2q gives us negative 10pq. So we want to get closer to 19. That's the whole idea. Now rather negative 19. Very important to consider this operation. That's what we want to get to. So we are done now with the outer. Remember, we're using the FOIL method. First, the first terms were 5p multiplied by 3p. We got 15p squared. The outer terms in our parentheses are 5p multiplied by negative 2q gives us negative 10pq. Okay, and our inner, now this becomes the inner terms now. That and that, they are inner. Now those, they are within. So when you multiply 3, or rather negative 3 multiplied by positive 3, in this case negative 3q multiplied by positive 3p gives us negative 9pq. Okay, so that appears to be satisfying this middle term there. Now, lastly, we need to now multiply our last. So remember, this was the inner, these were the inner terms. Now this is now the last term. So the last term now becomes negative 3q multiplied by negative 2q gives us positive 6q squared. Okay, now in a nutshell, what this means, it means that if after simplifying this, should give you our same problem as we started there. Okay, so this, which means this identity or this expression rather is the same as that. Given that scope, that means that our answer is 5p minus 3q multiplied by 3p minus 2q. That's the answer. That's rather the factorization of this problem. Okay, now let's look at another application using the same problem. Okay, the same problem, which just defies another method. So still on the fourth example. So we have 15p squared minus 19p cubed plus 6q squared. So in this case, what I do, I just simply need to find the factors of 15p squared. So I have 15p multiplied by 3p will give us 15p squared, and I need to cross multiply. So I need to find another factor. After multiplying, 3p must give me a certain product. So in this case, I have positive 3p multiplied by negative 3q. Okay, and then, oh sorry, this is actually 5 instead of 15. This is 5. In fact, let me reverse the whole application. Okay, so remember now we're looking for the factors of 15. In fact, 15p squared. So we have 5p multiplied by 3p will give us 15p squared. So we want to find another factor or other factors. After multiplying those two factors must give us a certain product. So now the product that we need to find should give us the sum of the middle term. So 3p multiplied by negative 3q and 5p multiplied by negative 2q. So let's see what we get after multiplying those two factors. So 3p multiplied by negative 3q gives us negative 9pq. 5p multiplied by negative 2q gives us negative 10pq. So after summing this, we should be able to find our middle term. So negative 9 plus negative 10 will give us negative 19pq. Now because of that expression, which meets this term there, we can start deducing on that basis to say that 5p minus 3q multiplied by 3p minus 2q gives us 15p squared minus 19pq plus 6q squared. Okay. Now, let's look at another example, rather our last example. The third example of this question is more like more of a technique. So how it applies still a fourth installment for our question. So we have 15p squared minus 19pq plus 6q squared. So what we need to do, the first thing that we need to do is to multiply 15p squared multiplied by 6q squared in other words, we need to multiply two factors. These factors are 15 multiplied by it's 15 multiplied by 6. So 15 multiplied by 6 gives us 90. So 15 multiplied by 6 gives us 90 p squared q squared. Okay. Now we need to find factors of 90 and it's positive. The factors of 90 are negative 10 and negative 9. And then we need to add those two factors. Remember now, negative 10 plus negative 9 gives us negative 19. Remember the idea here of negative 19 was to find the middle term, this value. So when you split this, remember we are taking these two values, so we have negative 10 pq positive multiplied by negative gives us negative, and then we have negative 9 pq. So what we need to do now is to just simply drop our third term. In other words, this serves as a constant because of although we have 2 as the highest degree there, so we drop that third term. So we have 6q squared, and also drop the first term, so it's 15p squared. And collect these terms, rather group them in our parentheses. We can clearly see that 5 is our common factor and p is also our common factor. So we have 3p minus 2q minus, now notice our second parenthesis, 3 is the common factor, so we have 3, and q is also a common factor. We have q multiplied by 3p minus 2q. So by grouping those factors, we have 5p 3p minus 3q multiplied by 3p minus 2q. And in a nutshell, that brings us to the last example of our fourth installment in factorization. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel so that I can be able to create more content and more videos relating to mathematics. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to drop a comment below so that I can be able to identify certain pointers relating to this application. Thank you. Goodbye.